Welcome back to Chicago Sports Update here on IAP Podcast. Thanks again for listening. We apologize for the delay. Work and us being under the weather, specifically me, have caused a delay, so I specifically apologize for that. Not much news, unfortunately, going on in the main sport here for football. It's certainly starting to circle the drain, as it were, on the season as the Bears went into a bye week just in complete and utter turmoil. A lot of clubhouse problems. Mark Trestman is certainly losing control of the team and showing why he has never been a head coach in the NFL. And especially since Bruce Arians, who's now leading the Arizona Cardinals and showing them to be quite the team to be, perhaps being the best team in the NFL this season, at least in the NFC, is really, really disappointing. The fact that the Bears could have had him managing their team, coaching the team, managing the team, same real sort of difference here. So that's what's been going on. The Bears exit the bye week tomorrow night, Sunday, as they head up to Lambeau in a primetime showdown against the Packers. So all forecasts include a loss. So yay, lots of fun there. And if they do lose that game, that's pretty much the season. No team is really coming back from a 3-6 start to make the playoffs, especially in the NFL. And I just don't see this team being capable of rattling off 7 wins consecutively. So put that in mind. So all of our hype that we had going into the season, gone. So excuse me, that's what we have for the Bears. Other things going on. Cubs really stole the I guess Joe Maddon really stole the show from the World Series. Overall, a pretty low-rated World Series viewer-wise. I know not in Kansas City or San Francisco, though, I'm sure, so okay. But Joe Maddon announced that he was going to be leaving his post. He had an opt-out clause should Andrew Friedman had left, and he did. Andrew Friedman. He left to take over baseball operations for the LA Dodgers. So his scouting ability and what he knows and how to run an organization, teamed with their seemingly limitless bankroll of Magic Johnson and Yankees West is, I guess, the best way we could really put it. That's going to be a dangerous combination going forward. But Joe Maddon did opt out of his managerial agreement with the Rays, his contract with the Rays, and is now your Chicago Cubs skipper. I'm very jealous of the hire as a White Sox fan. I'm sure Brandon and Mike are over the moon with the hire. It's the smart move. It's the right move, and the Cubs didn't really owe anything to Renteria except his contract. I don't want to say that he was a gap manager until whatever comes along better, but that's exactly what happened. Joe Maddon came along. He's better than Ricky Renteria. He has the pedigree to groom and develop major league talent at the major league level and teaches them how to win and how to play and stay as a cohesive unit at the major league level. A lot of good stories coming out of Tampa as far as his history there with some of the players and former players and, well, now they have him over on the north side of town. I can't blame them. They certainly did the exact right business decision for the right business reasons. They should count their lucky stars that Joe Girardi was not their hire, last year, 2 years ago, whatever the case may be. Certainly glad that they should be glad that that's not the case. Joe Girardi is just a big name as far as I'm concerned. Maybe an adequate manager, but certainly more in the vein of the Dusty Baker, Lou Piniella, big name hiring as opposed to the actual best of the best. And Joe Maddon right now is up there with the best of the best as major league managers. Really wish the White Sox could have been able to do something, but it just wasn't in the cards. That Joe Maddon, I guess, had his heart set on and knew what he wanted to do as far as switching jobs and knowing where to land and giving himself the best opportunity to win and not necessarily finish his career, but really make his career blossom. So Cub fans should be very, very happy about that. In Blackhawk news, Patrick Sharp has been injured, is going to be injured for about another 3-4 weeks, maybe, with a lower body injury. I believe it's a knee is what's being talked about. That certainly doesn't help them. They've had a horrendous scoring drought and lack of scoring. Unfortunately, yesterday in a 3-2 loss against the Capitals, they had a 2-goal lead and ended up losing the game. So that's disheartening. They host San Jose tomorrow night, so we'll see what happens there. They're extremely deep. I know Patrick Sharp was somebody that they may have ended up trading going into the season, and throughout the season I wouldn't be surprised if he does end up getting traded simply because of his large contract that he's due. But we'll see what happens there. I believe Jeremy Morin was called up. So next man up type of situation for the Blackhawks. And the Bull season has started, and oh boy, the Derrick Rose injury drama is already in full swing. Left a game recently with was a very apparent sprained ankle. Next day we find out it's 2 sprained ankles. I'm waiting for 3 on that one, but then a lot of back and forth as far as, I'm not going to play if I'm not 100%. Then he comes into the game. Honestly, a meaningless regular season game in Milwaukee, and decides to play, and thankfully doesn't get more hurt. But it's just it's getting to a point where everything is just getting really stupid with the Bulls, and it's really, really disheartening to see how that organization is run. I have a lot of respect for Tom Thibodeau. I think he is a good coach, a fantastic strategist, especially when it comes to defense, but he does not have to redline players, and I really, really hope he learns the lesson this year, and the fact that from previous years with the Bulls, that he does not have to redline his team to get to the playoffs. You're going to get to the playoffs. You just want your team healthy to get to the playoffs. That's what we've talked about here on this show. I'm sure plenty of different media outlets are saying the same things, talking heads, all those sorts of fun things. But basketball is not a difficult game to understand. It's not a difficult game to coach as far as I'm concerned. If you have a half a wit about you, I think you should be able to do so. Vinny Del Negro did not have any wit. That is why he is a joke of an analyst now to this day for NBA TV. But that being said, it's not hard to coach basketball. You need to rest your players for the playoffs, especially with a stupidly long season in basketball. 82 games is far too many. Of course, we can't go back now. I certainly love, 74. That'd be nice. Maybe 70. We're never going to get to that point, but we'll see what happens there. It's never going to happen, but you really got to save your team, save your legs, save your players for the postseason. That's what the best coach in the game does, specifically down in San Antonio, Greg Popovich. Seriously, the skeletons that he's just the dead bodies, the barely breathing bodies that he is bringing to the playoffs and winning and competing at a high level is just amazing, especially because of just his ability to coach and know when to rest. And heck, he won't even start 5. He won't even have a regular starting 5 if there's a back-to-back situation. It's stupid, and the Bulls organization is not better for it. At this point, excuse me, management should know what Tom Thibodeau is and either prepare to make a change or just change the job, take control, say you're not going to do this. If you do this, you're going to lose your job. And joking Noah getting hurt, not helping things. Derrick Rose being just completely tone deaf and a drama bomb, for lack of better words, about his health. It's stupid. It's just so stupid, and the Bulls organization should be better than this. This is, this is a Nick problem as far as I'm concerned. This is I shouldn't say 76er problem. This is a Wizard problem, or esque problem. This is a Bobcat-esque problem, or now Hornets, I guess. This is not a Chicago Bulls problem. It should not be a Chicago Bulls problem, especially with the pedigree that the Bulls try to establish themselves as. So we'll see, and I don't know if things are going to change. I really don't think they will, which is sad in and of itself. So that really wraps up the majors here. I've been lagging in my viewership of WWE. A few things are going on. I know Randy Orton's injured, missed his turn. Seth Rollins is, being Seth Rollins and dominating. But more on that as we will try to get Brandon on next week. And, of course, this just being an abbreviated show. If you are not aware, if you did not pay attention, if you didn't take a look at our Facebook page or anything like that, you are now going to be finding us exclusively on the Spreaker distribution platform. What's Spreaker? Spreaker is a wonderful platform for us to use. It gives us a great access to great listeners. That's how we get most of our listeners these days. An overwhelming majority of such. Find us through the Spreaker app and the iHeartRadio app as well. You can find us on there. Search our show. Search our podcast name, IAP Podcast on Spreaker, iHeartRadio. Search our show, and you will find all of our latest episodes on there. So I can't thank Spreaker enough for the great work that they do, and at no cost to me, which is quite the incentive for me. So if you find us on iTunes, thank you for doing so. But unfortunately, iTunes is not our major distribution platform, and I guess I'm kind of happy that way. I don't mind being on an independent system like Spreaker. As you know, there's no advertisements here aside from only any of our other shows when we get that in, as well as PSAs. So you can find us exclusively now on the Spreaker app. Chances are, well, yes, that's how you're listening to us right now, and we thank all of our Spreaker listeners and iHeartRadio app listeners as well. So thank you very much for all of your support. I was a very nice, pleasant surprise to see some of the recent statistics of such over the past year. So thank you very much for your support, and we'll try to stay regular here. I wouldn't be surprised if Flag Free starts to make a comeback as well, maybe every other week or so, but certainly with game releases ramping up, movies getting released, all those sorts of fun stuff. Will and I are sure we'll have some stuff to talk about. So until next time, thank you very much for listening to the latest episode of Chicago Sports Update, and we will talk to you soon, hopefully next week.
Thanks for listening to Chicago Sports Update here on Intrepid Audio Productions. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter by searching IAP Podcasts, all one word. We make it easy to listen to us at home or on the go because you can subscribe to us via iTunes or on your browser at Spreaker.com. Listen to us on the go with the Stitcher Radio app, available for all smartphones. Want to interact with the team directly? Leave any questions, comments, or feedback you may have at our Facebook page. You can also like our page to know about special events, shows topics, and listen directly on our page to new and past episodes. Feel free to email us anytime at iappodcast@gmail.com. IAP Podcasts, pioneering the best in independent podcasting.